Hey guys, I'm Dimension Jumper. Today I'll be doing my top 5 favourite power-ups from Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. Now, these games are pretty much, I would say, the Mario 64 of the Wii of Mario games. Kind of like how, similar to like how Mario's Odyssey is, kind of is like in terms of you go around collecting different power moons or stars or whichever game you're playing, and you're in these like sort of sandboxy type levels. And in Galaxy and Galaxy 2, you are able to collect certain power-ups to help you find particular stars or help you progress the level, that sort of thing. And I'll be going over some of my favourites. So for number 5 is the Spindrill. Now the Spindrill, I would say, is quite useful when it needs to be, because it's used in some of the galaxies. One of them being, I think, the first one it's introduced in, and its main function is to basically drill through a planet. So I think one of the stars you do is collecting the silver stars. I think in the galaxy that is introduced in, and you land on this sort of giant rectangular planet thing, and you use the spindrill to sort of like go through the planet to collect the different silver stars. And it's a really useful ability, and I do like how it's used for a boss fight as well. I think, again, the galaxy that introduces the spindrill, and it's kind of like Mega Leg from Galaxy 1, but instead of it being a giant, absolutely giant robot, it's still a huge giant robot, but it's a whole lot smaller. So kind of like a quarter of the planet large. And you basically use the spin drill to go through the planet to hit the glass that contains the power star. But yeah, I would say the spin drill it is useful, but the only way to get rid of it is to get hit by an enemy or by a launch star or collecting a particular power star. So yeah, it has uses, and it's kind of interesting. For number 4 is the rock mushroom. Now, I do enjoy a whole lot about the rock mushroom. I think one of my favorite uses of this particular mushroom is in Molten Lava Galaxy. I believe that's the name of the galaxy, for one of the stars. And there's there's a bit of the galaxy in which you have this sort of Mario Kart type course, and you basically have to go from one side to the other and basically click the start. And I think that's where my love of it comes from. I do like the other uses of it, like you use it to destroy enemies. You can destroy a giant crystal to collect a comet medal, and you basically use it to, again, like with the spin drill, to defeat one of the bosses. This time being a giant armadillo. And I think it's really interesting because like it's really fast and quite chaotic, because like it just goes all about the place and it's quite fast. It is hard to control, and it can go off course a bit sometimes, but I just really enjoy how this power up works, and it's just a really interesting way of a mushroom and a power up as a whole. So yeah. For number 3 is the Boo mushroom. Now, what I like about this one is that it basically changes Mario into a Boo. So basically, just think of a Boo, but with Mario's cap and its mustache, and that's pretty much how the Boo mushroom works. And this is the first time you use it is in the Boo Luigi's Mansion themed galaxy, and I think that's a really interesting way of bringing in the mushroom. Just have it being in a Luigi's Mansion themed galaxy level, and I do like some of the powers that it uses because you can float with it. You can also turn invisible to go through certain objects, and its one weakness is light from lights, obviously. And this is probably one of my favorites in the original Galaxy, because I just enjoy how it's used, and I do like how in one of the Luma galaxies, I believe, you can choose part of the galaxy. You can choose two different power ups, either being the bee mushroom or the boo mushroom, and I always choose the boom mushroom because that has infinite floats, and you can basically just get from one side to the other quite quickly and quite easily. I think a whole lot better than not the boom mushroom, the bee mushroom in that particular galaxy, because with that one, with the bee mushroom, you can fly, but it's only you can't do it infinitely like how with the boom mushroom. So yeah, and yeah, I do like how you can just sort of scare Luigi with it if you don't get hit by the light before the end of the level of the galaxy that you first get it, and it's a really interesting thing. So yeah. For number 2 is the Cloud Flower. Now, what I like about this one is that it's pretty much a broken power up in the game. I would say it's probably a better Spring Mushroom in the sense that with the Spring Mushroom in the original Galaxy and in Galaxy 2, where it's brought up in several galaxies, the Spring Mushroom gives you infinite height or a certain amount of height, but it's kind of hard to control, a bit like the Rock Mushroom. And you basically just jump, with the Spring Mushroom, just jump about all over the place. With the Cloud Flower, however, you do get some height with the different clouds, and you do have a lot more floatier jumps. And I think that what makes the flower a lot more better, because I think it takes a lot of things that went wrong with the Spring Mushroom and made it a whole lot better. And now you have 3 platforms that you can only replenish if you collect another Cloud Flower, and you can make some really good jumps. Like, I think in the galaxy that you first get the Cloud Flower, if you go from one of the clouds that's near the launch star to make it go from one part to the next part, you can basically just you can just walk in the clouds, maybe make a cloud platform, then just long jump to the platform, or not to the platform, the launch star, and just use it to go to the next part. And that's really cool, and I think that might makes it like some really cool tricks, and also it's useful for boss fight. I think the last one before the final fight. So yeah. And for number 1 is the bee mushroom. Now, this is probably my favourite one in the entire game, or in both games, because it's basically just Mario, but he's a bee. He's just got the powers of a bee, and that's something really cool and something really stupid, and probably I would say something only the Mario games could pull off, in the sense that, oh, what power up can we use to help progress the level? Let's make Mario a bee. And it does have a lot of really interesting uses. Like, you can basically just climb up some of the honeycombs in, I think, Honey Hive Galaxy and Honeycomb Galaxy, and I think maybe Autumn Leaf Galaxy, the Honey Hive palette swap. And it's a really fun, interesting thing. And I do like how with Mario's clothes, it just changes into a bee. It's basically bee themed. I think that's really cool. And the only downside to this is that, as I said before, you have a limited flight meter. So that's kind of, it's useful, but you have to really plan out where you have to land in order to refill your meter. And when it comes to the honey climbing, it only is useful on the honeycombs. It's not useful when it's just honey on the floor. I don't know why you can't just walk through the honey normally if you're Bee Mario, then when you're not Bee Mario, it's just kind of confusing. But overall, Bee Mario is a really interesting power-up, and it's a really interesting way of just progressing through the levels, and it's used for some really great platforming. So yeah. So that's been my top 5 favourite Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 power-ups. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.